Chapter 1. May your name live forever. Do I believe in the curse of the Pharaohs? Even if it does exist, I certainly don't fear it, although many strange things have happened to me during my years in the field. Let me tell you the story of one of my brushes with the curse. This happened to me in 1992, while I was working in the cemetery where the men and women who built the Giza pyramids are buried. This cemetery is very important because it proves that free Egyptians built the pyramids. This cemetery was discovered by accident on a hot day in August 1990. At the time, I was in charge of the pyramids at Giza, where three of the mightiest kings ever to rule Egypt were buried. These lie on a high, windswept plateau overlooking the modern city of Cairo. I was in my office near the pyramid of the great king Khufu, wearing my usual working outfit of jeans and a denim shirt. I'd been thinking, as I often did, about the people who built the pyramids. I decided to go and inspect the Great Pyramid of Khufu, and I reached down to pick up my Indiana Jones hat. But before I could stand up, the chief of the pyramid guards came rushing in to tell me that a young American woman had been riding in the desert near the pyramids. All of a sudden, her horse had tripped over what seemed to be an ancient wall. Fortunately, the tourist was fine, but the wall looked like it might lead to something exciting. I immediately clapped my hat onto my head, jumped into my car, and drove to the scene of the accident. On the way, I hoped and prayed that we had found what I'd been seeking for years, the tombs of the pyramid builders. For a long time, I'd been convinced that the tombs of the men and women who built the pyramids lay somewhere at Giza. I'd been studying the monuments here for more than 10 years, since I was appointed chief archaeologist. My official title was Chief Inspector of Antiquities in the late 1970s. I'd become friends with each of the pyramids, and I had formed a strong bond with the Great Sphinx, the huge rock-cut lion with the head of a king that guards the entrance to the Giza Plateau. I'd been away for part of this time, earning my PhD in the United States, but my studies had only furthered my resolve to find traces of the people responsible for these spectacular monuments. I was especially keen to prove, for once and for all, that free Egyptians had built the pyramids, not slaves forced to toil for harsh and cruel masters, and certainly not foreigners, aliens, or men from Atlantis. When I arrived at the site, which was in the desert not far from the Sphinx, I found that the wall was indeed part of an ancient tomb. It had been buried by the sand for more than 4,000 years, only to be discovered by accident. Our excavations since 1990 have revealed a vast necropolis or cemetery at this site. The people who were involved in the construction of the Giza pyramids were buried in this necropolis. The word necropolis comes from a Greek word that means city of the dead. This is a great discovery. It proves that the pyramids were indeed built by native Egyptians. We know now many of their names, and we know what many of their jobs were, and we can study their bones, which tell us many things about the lives of these important men and women.